What happened when Han Solo and Leia stole an AT-AT? Why did they try to stomp on Darth Vader? And what incredible force feat did that Dark Lord of the Sith pull off in the midst of battle? And that's today's story. After the destruction of the first Death Star, Leia, Han, Luke, and Chewie traveled to the Imperial weapons manufacturing planet of Psi Moon 1 to destroy a factory. It didn't take long for the whole mission to go upside down, and before long, a battalion of stormtroopers commanded by Darth Vader was chasing the rebels through the establishment. In order to get away, Han and Leia hijacked an Imperial walker and had one of the greatest battles with Darth Vader we've ever seen. It showcases just how powerful in the Force Vader was in his prime, and how not even an AT-AT could threaten him. Let's take a look at the battle. Darth Vader had just finished a one-sided showdown with Luke Skywalker, where the Dark Lord of the Sith repeatedly pushed the farm boy around. During that battle, Vader became distracted after he noticed Luke was wielding the very same lightsaber that he had used in the Clone Wars. While distracted, Han and Leia crashed into the hallway with their AT-AT, nearly stomping on Vader and Luke in the process. The entire weapons factory descended into madness. The local workers, slaves forced into building the very weapons that the Imperials were using to enslave them, jumped at the chance to defend themselves. They grabbed every blaster they could find and joined the rebels in the skirmish. A battalion of stormtroopers, the security for the base, rushed out, hoping to stop the insurrection. In the midst of all this, Han and Leia piloted an AT-AT. They were rushing to get to the Millennium Falcon. This whole mission had gone haywire, and they were abandoning their initial goal. They couldn't destroy the weapons factory, not this time. They needed to escape. They were no use to the rebellion dead, and if Han and Leia stayed any longer, they wouldn't likely survive. They directed the AT-AT towards the Millennium Falcon, which was hidden in a scrapyard not too far away. They thought they could probably make it there, but they'd need the AT-AT's weapons to be fully operational. R2 was struggling to bring the cannons online. After all, this was a weapons manufacturing facility, and the AT-AT had only been partially assembled. It wasn't ready for the front lines yet, so it would have taken a fully staffed Imperial engineering crew days to finish the assembly on the AT-AT's offensive systems. But Han and Leia needed them online in a matter of minutes. As they pushed forward, they saw a black figure on the battlefield. Darth Vader, the second most powerful figure in the galaxy. If they could end him here, they could cripple the Empire and maybe get the upper hand in this war. But without their cannons, they had no real way to attack. Leia urged Han to do the one thing that they could: step on him. Han raised the foot in the 90-ton tank and brought it down towards the Dark Lord. But before the 2-meter-wide steel appendage could strike the Sith, it halted in mid-air. Han and Leia were shocked. Perhaps there was something wrong with the AT-AT's assemblage. But then they saw Darth Vader with a single outstretched hand. He used the Force to stop the tank from stepping on him. After a few passing seconds, Vader summoned even more power and gained control of the AT-AT. He was pulling it, pushing it, forcing it to wreathe. If it could feel pain, it would have been in misery as every joint popped and electrical breakers exploded. If they didn't act fast, then they surely would be dead. Han and Leia had run out of options. So hoping that R2 had finally finished repairing the cannons and trusting in faith, Leia slammed her hands down on the firing panel. The weapons came to life and the full force of the AT-AT's forward cannons struck at Darth Vader. A second volley destroyed the walls of the factory, leaving a straight path for Han and Leia to pilot towards the Millennium Falcon and their one-way ticket home. Not sure if they had killed Vader or not, the pair didn't really care. But behind them, in the pile of rubble, the Sith Lord quickly rose. A stormtrooper stumbled upon him and was shocked. Darth Vader was helmetless, and his pale, white face, covered in scar tissue from the horrid burning on the planet of Mustafar 20 years ago, was a sight too horrible and pitiful for him to hide his emotions. The stormtrooper expressed pity. Darth Vader flicked his wrist and snapped the stormtrooper's neck. He then quickly summoned his black helmet. Vader gathered more stormtroopers to his side and marched through the freshly blasted wall, pursuing the AT-AT. What would normally take 1,000 troops to destroy, Darth Vader hoped to take down all by himself. Han and Leia walked through the exterior of the weapons plant until they came to a blockade. 4 AT-STs, 5 assault tanks, and 5 combat speeders were firing on them. Even in an Imperial walker, this battle was going to be tough. As they tried to take out the smaller vehicles one by one, Darth Vader approached from below, his red lightsaber fully ignited. He hacked and slashed at the walker's feet. Han and Leia panicked. They knew if they lost any more of the ankle couplings that the whole machine would topple over. They looked through the viewfinder, shocked to see Darth Vader had survived the previous blast from their forward cannons. 2 more slices of his red lightsaber, and Darth Vader completely cut off a foot. Han and Leia looked at each other, realizing that this might be their end. It was too soon for them to express their true feelings, but in that moment they both said as much as they could. The Imperial walker crashed to the ground, and Vader ordered the stormtroopers to follow him in for the kill. And then something caught his eye. Luke was on the battlefield. He could finish the fight here with Leia and Han, and by capturing or killing the rebel leaders, deliver a crippling blow to the rebellion. But Vader was possessed with curiosity. He needed to know who Luke was, so he abandoned the battlefield to chase Luke, and Han and Leia, with a bit of help, managed to escape.